Bitcoin is right now approaching one of the most important levels of resistance, and while this is happening, we are seeing that we're breaking above one of the most important levels of resistance on the 1 hourly time frame. And also, we have absolutely nailed this weekend on the CME gap. So on today's update video, I'm going to be exactly discuss all these very important levels that we're currently looking at, the most important charts and forecasts that I will be sharing with you, and much more will be getting discussed on today's update video with all kinds of new charts we need to discuss right now here. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes. That will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So first of all, on this weekend, of course, we created another CME gap, and exactly on the end of the weekend, of course, we first came down here, filled up that exact CME gap we were creating around $98,173, and straight away after, we just shot up towards the upside, which was, of course, quite an insane move if you'd ask me here, because straight away from off that 97,000 US dollars, we moved up all the way to 99.9K. And that is, of course, quite a big move, if you would ask me. And more importantly, if we're just going to be looking at the lower time frames and if we're going to be analyzing this move, it was, of course, likely to be expected this move was going to happen. Of course, I talked about it on yesterday's video where we were, of course, already seeing that we were trading in an uptrend. And now we have confirmed another higher high. And that is ultimately also one of the reasons why we're pushing higher right now. And actually, we're exactly getting rejected by that previous high in the market, which was also 99.9K. And you can see exactly this high right here is now getting rejected by this high right here. So very interesting to be seeing that here. First of all, we broke above this very important level right here, which clearly was major resistance in the past. And now what we're looking for is, of course, a potential retest of this level. This is the 99,000 US dollars to 98.7K. And yeah, whenever we're going to hit that level, we're likely expecting we're going to create a higher low, and then the trend can just continue how we've already been trading in it. So yeah, the market is ultimately looking very strong here, and as long as we're not creating a lower low, I will not say that we're, of course, going to be looking bearish. But as soon as we do create a lower low, at that point, I could start to say, okay, maybe this trend is going to be a little bit different. But at the bigger perspective as well, the 4 hourly time frame, we, of course, created a major falling wedge pattern. And right now, we are seeing the most important level of resistance getting retested. And yeah, we broke above it. Now we're seeing a slide of the wick on the top side. But that is just normal whenever you try to be breaking above these kinds of levels. We're currently trying to break above it. If we can confirm the breakout above this level, I personally do really think we are heading up towards new all-time highs again here. And considering the fact that today is, of course, Monday, we're going to see once again spot Bitcoin ETF inflows again here. And yeah, last Friday we saw about $900 million getting bought by the spot Bitcoin ETF. If we can get anywhere close towards a similar buy like we had on last Friday, we're most certainly going to be pushing through this exact level right here. So on the bigger perspective, we are still seeing that we're consolidating basically. And yeah, if you approach this level a little bit differently, maybe on the 12-hour time frame, you can see that we are not even retesting it right now. So Bitcoin ultimately looks very exciting in my opinion. We are right now also retesting once again the 1.618 on the Fibonacci extension. If you're going to be putting it from the previous all-time high here to the previous bear market low, you can see that the 102.5K is going to be one of the most important levels to be breaking above of, and that is just the region which we're retesting right now here. And if we can see a clear follow-through above this level, the next major resistance for Bitcoin is ultimately going to be 123,000 US dollars. So yeah, this is basically what we're looking at currently on Bitcoin. I discussed the imminent short term, I discussed the bigger perspective, but we are not done here yet here, because Bitcoin is indeed moving, but I've got some more interesting charts for you to discuss. But first, guys, if you are interested in trading Bitcoin or any other altcoins, the best opportunity to do it is definitely on Blofin. First of all, make sure to check it out if it is available in your region. If it is so, don't forget to check it out in the link description of today's video, because if you're right now sign up using that highest link below, guys, you can claim a deposit bonus worth up to 100,000 US dollars, which, if you would ask me, is quite an insane deposit bonus. So if you're interested in that, check it out in the link description of today's video. On this exchange, you can trade Bitcoin, but also a lot of hot altcoins, which are not available on many other exchanges right now here. So if you're interested, check it out in the link description of today's video. Further on, what we're basically looking at for Bitcoin right now is that we're also starting to see a new push towards all-time highs on the hash ribbons. And basically the last time where we were clearly breaking through the hash ribbons, we basically saw Bitcoin surge with 116% here. And now ever since we, of course, broke that all-time high here, we are also surging quite heavily, but of course not that 116% yet. Then at the same time, we see that the exchange reserves on Bitcoin is heavily dropping, and that is ultimately something bullish for the supply scarcity effect here. Then, of course, in terms of timing, it makes a lot of sense here that Bitcoin is still going to be pushing higher in the upcoming period. And honestly, we could start to think that Bitcoin is topping out somewhere from February. From February, it's a reasonable and realistic scenario that Bitcoin potentially is going to be topping out. But from now on, it isn't yet here. So whenever we're going to be seeing this data come in here, I will be the first one to tell you out there. Because yeah, of course, whenever I think Bitcoin is going to top out, we of course going to be having a different strategy with trading it. So right now as well still, for the Bitcoin dominance, we're seeing that we're creating this upper sloping support line. We broke below it, we got rejected from it, and ultimately here, the altcoin season always started a year later than the Bitcoin halving. And yeah, now it is 2025, and it should be starting right now here. And if this really happens, it is going to be ultimately extremely bullish for our portfolios, because yeah, personally, I am holding a lot of altcoins, and if they pump well here, it will be, of course, a blessing for my portfolio. Then, if we're just looking back here at the total market cap, excluding the top 10 here, we're right now finally starting to see a bullish crossover happening on that super trend indicator on the 2-month time frame. And basically, the last 2 times that happened, altcoin season got started. So yeah, that's ultimately also a very bullish signal, which we're right now getting. And of course, on the Bitcoin dominance on the daily time frame, we are clearly starting to see a reversal with lower highs, of course, and lower lows in the market right now here. So yeah, this is a trend I am currently taking, and this is a trend I am currently trading as well myself here. Then as well on the excluding Bitcoin ETH chart on the daily time frame, we're breaking the downward sloping trend line, and we're seeing this level getting flipped into support. So a lot of bullish charts there. And ultimately, Ethereum is also looking very strong here, breaking out of the symmetrical triangle, not above the previous high yet here. If you just look at the monthly time frame, we're just creating a massive ascending triangle. And if this breaks out, it is going to be absolutely sending it. It's going to be absolutely sending it, and that is, of course, why I'm so excited for it right now here. And yeah, like I said earlier in previous videos as well here, if you're just going to be looking back at the performance every single time after a Bitcoin halving year, Ethereum tends to be doing extraordinary in the first 2 quarters of the year, and that is, of course, currently exactly where we're finding ourselves right now. So I'm very excited. I'm looking forward towards what is going to be happening next year. But anyways, this was it for me in today's update video. If you did enjoy it, learn something from it, don't forget to stomp on that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.